Well, there is no other way to say it. Absolutely a stunner from the NBA this afternoon, where the New York Knicks have fired head coach Tom Thibodeau after reaching the Eastern Conference Finals. Look, there's no way to get around it. This move had the blessing of Leon Rose. It obviously had the blessing of James Dolan. I am curious to know how Jalen Brunson felt about the move, how some of the other players around this team, Karl Anthony Towns, felt about the move, and what does this mean for the future and the direction of this Knicks organization? What does it mean for some of the moves they might make in the offseason? A lot of people have speculated and wondered if Michael Malone, would potentially be the guy they would go after if they got rid of Tom Thibodeau. I am going to posit a couple of names. One is Jay Wright, who, if he was ever going to make the move to the NBA, New York would have been one of the spots that made sense. The 76ers would be a spot that makes sense. I will posit one more name, though. Remember the name, Dan Hurley. If you don't think, I'm not saying he's going to get the job, but if you don't think the New York Knicks are going to talk to the guy that was the hottest coaching candidate potentially in the last offseason cycle, him and J.J. Redick were the two guys that the Lakers talked to. Remember, if Dan Hurley doesn't turn down the Lakers, J.J. Redick is never the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. If you don't think that James Dolan isn't going to at least have a conversation, that Leon Rose isn't going to at least have a conversation with Dan Hurley, one of the offensive masterminds in all of basketball, then you're out of your mind. I think they're going to have a conversation with Dan Hurley. And I will say this now. If it ever gets to the point where an offer is made to Dan Hurley, the UConn head coach will no longer be the UConn head coach. He will take that job in a New York minute, pun intended. That is in his backyard. He grew up in New Jersey. He would take that job in an instant if it were offered. I'm not saying it's going to be offered. I'm not saying I have any inside information. I'm just telling you that if that job gets offered, Dan Hurley will take it. But the big story today, Tom Thibodeau is out as New York Knicks head coach. Tell me what you think in the comments. Who should the next Knicks head coach be? Write your suggestions in the comments below. Did the Knicks make the right move? Was this a coaching problem? Is it a personnel problem? Should they have just made some moves and tried to change the roster around, swapped some pieces out? Or was Tom Thibodeau the reason the Knicks ultimately weren't NBA Finals contender or weren't a team in the NBA Finals? Again, like, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff. And make sure to watch us on SportsWrap Monday through Friday, weekends as well, wherever you can find us on TV. And make sure to subscribe here as well. I'm Jason Page. We'll see you back here soon.